I'm thinking something like... Hi, little angel.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Today feels a little like Jell-O.
Why?
I just came off a weekend traveling, and my Mondays are always like, ugh, yeah. I had therapy and then like took a nap and then woke up and came here. And
Yeah. Jell-O.
Jell-O, but good Jell-O, like a tangerine. You know, it's sweet, it's unique, but it is still like blah 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 blah. You know.
Yeah. Good.
How are you?
I'm good.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Just doing the working thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look pretty.
Thank you.
Yeah, your eyebrows look nice. Little glitter eyeshadow. I'm always glad we do this.
Yes.
Our guest was Rob Wentz.
Yes. He was really cool.
Yeah.
Really awesome dude. He seemed like, I know he's from the north, but he feels like he's from the south.
Yes.
He just feels like one of those good old boys I grew up with.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, and you can always tell. I had a cousin that grew up around. I grew up around all women, and my male cousin was always with us. You can always tell a man that's grown up around women.
Yeah, for sure.
Like within a couple of minutes, maybe seconds. There's just something about them.
Well, something he talked about was the respect he learned to have for women, and so I think that's something you pick up on.
Yeah.
As a woman, like a man that has that or not.
Isn't that weird that that's a different thing? We're like, wait, you're respecting women. What was your childhood like? Yeah. But it was great. He was wonderful, and I just love this podcast. Like I always say, I'm always grateful to be here.
Mm-hmm. And he's going through some really hard, life-changing things, and the way he could show up and talk about it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I appreciated that a lot.
Me too. Oh God, me too. I literally talked to my therapist today, and she was like, "What are you doing later?" I was like, "I'm actually going to talk to somebody who's struggling with a parent being sick, which is what I'm going through." And she's like, "Oh well, isn't that serendipitous?" I'm like, "Yep." So it was nice to like hear a lot of things he said where I was like, "Oh, thank you for that."
What felt important to you? What's one that sticks out?
Oh man, well him like majorly him being like, I went to say goodbye and now I'm, he's like 2,000 miles away and he's like, and they were like, do you want to, it might be soon. Do you want to come back and say goodbye again? He's like, no, I said my goodbyes. I got to get back to work. And I've been feeling bad about I know I don't want to drop everything and go live with my mom. And I know she doesn't want that, but there is that guilt of like, you sacrificed so much for me. I should sacrifice for you. And just to hear another kid be like,
that's not what she would want.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's not what I'm going to do. And to be confident in that, I'm like, oh, that was a salve, to the pain.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And thank y'all for listening. And if you're not a subscriber, if you're not a subscriber, please
be one.
They're like, wow, that was smooth.
It's as simple as that, folks. Just be one.
Yes, thank you. All right, enjoy the episode.
That's cute.
So, yeah.
How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm chilling. I'm doing, one day at a time, sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, I keep saying rehab stuff. How you doing? One day at a time, 1 minute at a time. If that's what it takes, man.
That's fine. That's fine.
That's what you can.
It's a good way to do it, regardless.
Yeah, I mean, you've been going through it.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. It's been wild.
I don't know. Tell me what you've been going through.
In February, my mom got diagnosed with stage 4 brain cancer. And then I went home and said goodbye to her and everything. Wow. And she hasn't passed yet, but it's like any minute type deal.
Yeah.
Which is why I got my phone has been like every time I get any text messages, I'm like, oh, is this the one? And so it's been like a lot of that, but it was good. Like I got to I have a lot of peace with it. Mom was like at peace. She seems like she's like definitely ready to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And sure, like quality of life is not as good as it could be. So we're kind of like, it's like, this is good. It's time,
Yeah.
And she even said that in the capacity that she could say it, 'cause she was like brain cancer. She was like, I feel like, don't worry about me. We're like, okay.
Damn.
So yeah.
That just like came up kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, you don't get too many scans in the old noggin. So it's just one day I was like driving. Oh, she's like woke up one day and was like acting kind of weird. And I was home at this point. I was there, and she was just like not really herself. She was like not remembering a lot of stuff, just like acting weird. And then we like by the end of the day, she couldn't remember any of our names and didn't know who any of us were.
Wow.
And it was like super fast, and like we thought it was a seizure. We didn't know what was going on. And then we called the 911 or whatever, and they got there. And then by like 3 weeks later, we found out that like what it was. But it's like a process of like we don't know what is going on with mom, because it wasn't like a seizure where you get it was just like it was all like
Neurological.
yeah, that's the one.
Sorry, y'all.
It's like this. That story, just like
Yeah, so mom's she got stage 4.
I'm sorry.
damn, bro.
Mom had stage 4 snuffleupagus. It's terrible.
It's terrible.
So yeah, that's been what's been kind of that's been what's going on with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so much to deal with and then do comedy.
Yeah. A couple times I've been like I drove like 2 hours to a show, and then I'm like, well, if Dad calls anytime in the next hour and a half or so, it'll be good, because then I have 30 minutes to like get back into like, hey, I need to be funny. But he always calls like 2 minutes before I'm about to go on stage. I don't know how he times it out, but he's like, guess what? It's worse. And you're like, how is it worse? This is crazy. Like, it can't get worse than this.
And then you still go on stage.
Yeah, so I got to go up there and try and be funny.
Yeah.
So I have an email that I feel like, I've kind of like taken the last like 4 or 5 months to be like, I'm going to do anything that someone hits me up to do, but I'm not going to go like out of my way to do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard. I have a rule of don't send me bad news. Wait till the end of the day.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's good.
But his end of the day is the end of the day.
Yeah. So it could be hit me up in the morning.
Yeah, that's I like that.
That's what I do. Because I'm like, in sessions, it's like you have to, I imagine the same way when you just have to check all your stuff, like side stage, I guess, before you get up there.
Yeah, yeah. I did. I used to answer my phone when I was on stage because I thought it was funny to like pick my phone up and be like, "What's up, man?" Like do like a bit out of it.
Right.
But now I'm like, I'm definitely not picking my phone up on stage now.
That's one way to go viral. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But once you get up there, do you feel like all the stuff kind of
It's like the only place I feel when I'm like, oh,
Yes.
cool. Like I'm just. This is. It's like when you play sports or something. You're not thinking about like other stuff when you're like in the game.
Yeah.
Like locked in.
yeah.
That's got to be hard. I can't imagine feeling like you're on,
Yeah.
like when you just need to be off.
I also am not very good at like I'm always like, all right, I'm gonna go spend a bunch of time with some just a group of people. So I'm like, if I'm by myself, I have to think about it. But if I'm not by myself,
Yeah.
You have
out of
siblings,
sight,
right?
I have 4 siblings. Yeah,
That's
4
good.
sisters, 4 older sisters.
Okay.
Yeah,
And you guys are close?
yeah. For the most part, yeah. Like I'm closest with my sister's closest in age.
Yeah.
But she's 7 years older than me, so they're like way older. So
Yeah.
some of them like we're not close because there's nothing to talk about, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. You were out of the house by the time I was around. Like I have one sister.
Yeah.
I just don't talk to her.
Yeah, I get that.
Even throughout this whole thing, it's been weird because she's like not as close with the family as everybody else, and so it's been odd. But it's okay.
What is it like? So my mom is not in great health right now, and like we had a death doula on here not long ago that was like, oh, she gave great tips and stuff, but one thing she said where she was like, oh, I think you're always kind of prepared for this moment, and I struggled with that. I was like, I don't think that's true, but like going to say goodbye, like
Yeah.
It depends on. There's a quote recently that was, "There's nothing you're more suited in life to do than die," which is like,
damn.
it's like the easiest thing you do. It's the thing that duh, everybody does it. You know what I mean? But how do you handle it as a person who isn't the one dying? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's it'll be easier. So I've just been kind of realizing that like mom's like, yeah, really, she did a lot of stuff. Like she had a big life. You know what I mean? Did a lot of stuff. Raised like early handsome son, which is awesome. And yeah, I'm the only one. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just kind of think like she had a hell of a run. You know what I mean? The Patriots can't win every Super Bowl. Sometimes the dynasty ends. So yeah, she should have a good run, I guess. Kind of how I think about it. And she's like, it's nice to know that she'll be like at peace after this like, battle. You know,
what's been helping you like come to those conclusions, those feelings?
I guess just like sitting with the feelings and just thinking and just been thinking with it and like not drinking as much as I normally do, which is crazy. Cause like I'm still drinking, but like I definitely like could have just been like, I'm going to get fucking hammered and like do all the things, the bad tendencies. But instead I was like, yeah, dude, like it's good to have the emotions and just like have them and just feel them and then be like, okay, well, I felt that and now that's happened and now I need to go to work. You know what I mean? And then compartmentalize it and be like, okay, that's happening, but that's happening over there. And it's not happening right here. And I'm also 2,000 miles away, which is good and bad, but it's, you know, I feel worse for my sisters who were like there the whole time, like trying to take care of her and stuff, you know? Like,
yes.
That's a little bit better.
Do you like, what's it been like in community with like other comics or people? Cause I know you've posted some on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, do you like when people bring it up or do you not?
I'm not new. Not really. Not particularly. I also kind of, in some ways, regret posting anything about it. Like, I was like, fuck, I shouldn't have said anything. But, like, it was just in the moment, it was so emotional. And so, like, and I didn't have, I was, like, isolated because I was just with, like, my family, but I was around my friends. So I just posted about it to, like, let people know that my mom was sick, kind of. And then as it's, like, gotten worse and stuff, it's been more, like, you know, people like, bring it up and ask, or, like, my coworkers bring it up and ask. And they're like, how's your mom? I'm like, well, she's dying. So, like, not good, you know. Like I don't know what else to say. Like she's not doing good,
right?
Yeah, but it's not. I mean, I don't like look for it. I'm like, can't be like, oh man, can't wait to talk about this, you know.
Yeah.
But it's also just part of life. Like I had jokes I've written about it that I haven't done because I'm like, I just can't. I don't really want to talk about it on stage yet. But there are like we went to when she was sick. I went to the dentist like when she was first in the hospital, and she was like I have like kind of messed up teeth a little bit, and I went to the dentist and didn't get anything done. They just looked at them and they were like, yeah, they're messed up. And then I like went back to see my mom, and she was just like, your teeth before now. Like, she like just assumed I had gotten work done, so she was just like, yeah, you're great, but before.
Damn.
She had like all that brain stuff going on, so she wasn't like not her normal self. So she was like, before. I was like, damn, do they still look like that? I didn't have the heart to show her. I was like, you're right, they look great. Like,
what a great mom. She's like, oh, they look different.
Always big on being like, my mom was also so big on like anytime we'd have like, you know, like my brother-in-law is like a bigger guy. She always be like, Byron, looks like you're losing weight. And he's like, I'm not, but thank you. It's very nice of you to say that, but all right. Put on weight, if anything. So that was always very fun. She was always big on like, you look great. And I'm like, they look terrible. Like, why are you saying that?
So when she says you look great, you're like, oh, no.
Yeah. Like, I need to check. I don't look good.
Wow, that's cool that you wrote jokes already. It's like that is like processing right there. Like,
yeah. Even if I'm not doing them on stage, I do write about it like a lot. And I'm like, I think that's funny. I think this is funny. There's like things where I'm like, I think this is funny. But then it's so hard to bring it up because like as soon as you say like my mom has cancer, like there's the crowd just like,
yeah.
And you're like, okay, well,
you're like, well, I'm going through it.
Yeah,
you're
it's
not.
me. Like let me talk about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So there's that.
Yeah. How long ago was it that you went to say goodbye?
Like a week ago.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, like super recently.
Wow.
And then they called me and she took like another downward kind of turn and they like called me and they're like, do you want to come back out? I'm like, I just got back home. Like I can't afford to come back out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they also were like, there's nothing I could do anyway. And I looked at her and said everything I was trying to say to her and like cried and like did all the things. So I'm like, just to go back is just to like relive it in the moment unnecessarily.
Yeah.
And I just got shit to do. You know, and my mom was like the biggest like we get shit done person. Like she's like owned multiple businesses. Like was the caterer for like the White House and shit. Like she was like, yeah. She like catered the Supreme Court and catered like a bunch of like she used to live in DC and owned a restaurant. Like my mom was like my mom gets shit done.
Wow.
Like, so she like started a business with $1,000 and turned it into like 2 huge locations and huge stores. So like turned out a bunch of money. Like. People are like, what's your mom's favorite thing to do? I'm like, hustle. That bitch hustles. Like that's what mom likes to do. You know what I mean? She likes to hustle and watch old movies. I'm like, all right, that's her thing. And I like one of those 2 things. It's not old movies. So, better get my ass in gear. Susan wouldn't be having me sitting around moping,
I love that so much.
Yeah.
That's inspiring. I literally just today was like feeling bad about not dropping my entire career and going and living with my mom to, I don't know, make myself feel better, make her feel better.
Yeah.
And she would not want that. So it's really cool to hear you just be in that place.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, I mean, and you think of your parents, like, they don't want you to, like, obviously everybody, like, you want to be taken care of and everything, but if people are there taking care of her, the extra people is not, you know, maybe not even helpful either.
Yeah.
It's like, can be too much when they're like, too much going on.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Do you ever take it out of the box? Like you said, you compartmentalize, and other times you let yourself kind of get that box off the shelf.
So if you cry in the shower, it doesn't count. So I'm a big, like, recently my roommate's like, you're taking long showers. Like, no, I'm not. I'm getting extra clean in there, brother. Like, yeah. So I cry out of the shower. Yeah. Probably like every shower.
Yeah.
Yeah. But only shower once a day. So we're staying clean and we're staying healthy over here, folks. Yeah.
Yeah, I think one thing, the death doula that we had on here, and me and Kaylee both have also trained in doing some death doula work.
Okay.
And one of the biggest things is just being present and witnessing what's happening, like naming it and not trying to just shove it aside and everything's great.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you're doing that, or had that moment where you sat with it and named it and witnessed it.
I think, I mean, I definitely, like, came to terms with it relatively quick. Like, I think if your expectations are that, like, okay, mom has stage 4 glioblastoma, like brain, like she's going to die. Mm-hmm. It's easier to be like, well, mom's going to die. How do I handle that? And then my expectation is death. And then once death happens, I'm not, like, way up here thinking mom's going to beat it. And then I have to fall all the way back down.
That is hard when you're constantly, like, scan to scan, waiting for good news to hope it can take a turn.
I was a little more realistic. I was like, she's probably going to die, so, like, let's not get my hopes up too much. I'm not going to be like, you could take a salt bath. You know what I mean? Like, we're good. No one's going to eat kosher and your brain will heal. I'm like, all right, well, there's not much we can do, so let's just, like, listen to the people who say what to do. And, like, they told us, they were like, you can do chemo, but that's going to be so hard on her. And even if chemo does take an effect, it's 90% reassurance rate within, like, a couple weeks of you're just gonna right back into chemo. So it was like, well, we went, like, an alternative medicine type approach to it, which was, like, I think better. She stayed herself a lot longer. You know what I mean? She was, like, more physically active throughout a lot of it. You know, I mean, as much as she could be. But I mean, she got diagnosed February 19th and it's July 22nd. Wow. And we're, like, you know, kind of any day now.
Damn, bro.
Yeah. So it happened fast, you know? If it was like stage 2 breast cancer, we'd be like, yeah, we're going to do all the chemo thing, we're going to do all that. But they were like, brother, it's not good, you know? Yeah. So you just, you know, you wake up every day and you just kind of go like, man, I got to go to work, you know, and keep yourself busy.
Yeah.
I'm sure, but has this greatly affected the way you look at life, or?
Yeah, this is like something life will be before and after. Mm-hmm.
I think it's been a lot of, like, I feel like before I was more still like a kid, where I was like, I'm just like kid in my 20s and I'm just a big kid. And now I'm like, all right, well, gotta be an adult, gotta, like, really start thinking about, you know, getting my shit together, I guess, more. And so it was that. And then I also realized that there's always gonna be a hole that, like, I've heard people talk about, like I lost my parent and there's a part of you that just goes away and doesn't come back when that happens, and I get that, but change is also what made the caterpillar into the butterfly, so you gotta kind of spread those wings sometimes.
You have all these little sayings.
Yeah, I'm not from the South, but I feel Southern, you know. We got all kinds of, the woodpecker needs a belly full, gotta have a headache, you know.
What?
Not that old saying.
that old one?
We retired that one.
Is that we retired
That's
that
a deep dive.
I don't even know what that is.
It's not one.
My pop used to say that.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he's from Monroe, Louisiana. Woodpecker needs a belly full, got a belly headache.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Where did you grow up?
Idaho. Yeah, that's where I went to high school. So like, we moved around a lot, but yeah, Idaho. Okay. Sandpoint, Idaho. Way up north by like Spokane, Washington, and south of Canada.
Yeah, very up north.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep, way up there.
But you love the South?
I love the people.
Really?
I like everybody I met down here. It's sick. hotter than a bitch down here, but and it rains every day. Jesus, it rains here. People are like, oh, it rains a lot in the Pacific Northwest. I'm like, it's cloudy a lot, but it rains a lot more here, I tell you.
Really?
Yeah, it rains all the time here. I'm living in East Nashville. I lose power every 2 freaking minutes, dude. every couple, they're like, there's stormy. You might want to get a generator. You're like, fuck, great. Dude.
I know. If it gets stormy, I'm like, where's the flashlights?
Oh,
We
yeah.
should have something.
We'll have full-blown
The wind
blizzards. We're
blows,
like, we're
too.
fine.
Yeah.
You guys get a little rain, and God forbid, dude.
Yeah, I feel if the wind blows too hard, the power flickers off.
Yeah, that's true.
And a lot of the where I live, there's just a lot of tree lines. So like the trees fall in the lines like all the time.
Damn.
Just all the time. Yeah. I know which bars will always have power during storms. And me and my roommates are like, we gotta go to Babo. They have power and very good Korean food. So
Oh,
like,
fuck yeah.
That place rules. So I'm like, yeah.
How old
it's
are you?
already kind of dark in there, so it's fine. 27.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
What what's your support group like? Do you have comic friends or do you have
Yeah.
normies?
I have a lot of comic friends.
Okay,
And then I
cool.
have like down here and like more down here than I have friends back home. But once you like move and you're doing comedy, everybody's so busy. I don't talk to them as much. But definitely have like a good group of friends down here that I'm close with. I moved down here with Ryan McComb and
Mm-hmm.
we're super close. And then I have like friends I grew up with that call me and stuff.
Okay,
And we talk to
nice.
each other maybe like once a week, you know, and try to talk more than that. But it's hard because you're busy, you're an adult, you know what I mean? But yeah, my support group is yeah, and my roommates too. Like having roommates is so nice because I can just go home and be like, "You want to play college football?" And they're like, "Great, yeah, we'll just play
Aw.
video games." And then we don't have to like. It's just being around people, but not necessarily like talking about anything.
Yes.
Is like a form of intimacy, almost in its way. You know what I mean?
Totally.
We're like, we just hang out. We don't have to talk. We can just hang out.
Yes.
Those are the best friends to have.
Yeah,
True.
that's why dogs rule.
Yes,
Yes.
they do.
Can't talk to
Yes,
you.
yours.
That's great.
Are you in or have you ever been in therapy?
Yeah, I did a little bit of therapy. I did BetterHelp for a little bit because yeah, boy, I was depressed, and then I did that for like a little, and then
Was that helpful?
you know, the things they told me were like, no, not. I didn't feel like I grew, but they were like, have you thought about exercising and like you should stop. You thought about looking at the sun,
You're
not
like, is this a
directly, but
bot?
just like being outside. And I'm
Have
like,
you tried
damn.
to just not be depressed?
Yeah, you
You're
thought
like,
about
"God,
this.
wish I would have thought of that.
I know. It just some of it was like helpful. More reading, dude. I just like I just like listened to like lectures and like self help books and stuff, and then I just like pulled myself out of it. More than I did all the things, but like I didn't have the money to do like real therapy, so I was like, I was just like, this is like super cheap and like that. It was a lot. It was like all of those things that was like, okay, hey. If you're getting depressed, you have to now before you're like the weight of it is on you. Like you need to get out of it now.
They guided you to the books and
Yeah,
the talks. And all
yeah,
that.
yeah, kind of like that, and kind of like
Okay.
just me being on the internet and being like, how to not be depressed. You know, like
Yeah.
there you go. And it didn't like I wasn't. I guess I mean I was depressed, but I wasn't like super duper depressed. But I was definitely like everything I did. I was like, boy, this feels 10 times harder than it should be.
Yeah.
Why is doing laundry my biggest achievement today? You know, like it should be doing more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long were you doing BetterHelp?
Not long, like 2 months maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
A month, 2 months. It was
Because
not
every
long.
podcast talks about BetterHelp, and
Yeah.
I tried it for a little bit and hated it.
You tried it?
Not, I was gonna set my mom up with it,
Okay.
but just through the questionnaire process, I was like, "This is bullshit."
Yeah, the questionnaire part sucks. I
It's
didn't-
so dumb.
A lot of it, I was like, "This is pretty stupid," but I just did it, and I didn't do it long. Yeah, not long at all.
I
Then
think, I think the goal is like to create access to some support, and I guess it serves its purpose in that way of like feeling like you have somebody to hear you or point you in resources and things like
yeah,
that.
for sure. I mean, then once I started like getting outside, just like going outside too,
Yeah.
where it's like the sun's out, I need to go out today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't stare at it, but
I don't think they should market it as therapy,
no.
Right.
a support line.
Yeah, support
like
line's good.
support, yeah.
I mean, I've never done real therapy, but it sounds like no, I don't want to know that much about myself. It's pretty good.
No, that's
good.
very aware because that is
Yeah.
what will happen.
Yeah. I don't want to know. I have friends that have done it, and God bless them. But I'm like, hey, man, we're just watching the game. Like, we don't need to. You know what I mean? The Steelers are on. Let's just focus in here, brother. Like, you got some Coors Lights in front of you, and we it's not that deep, brother. You know, it's they'll like start going on. You're like, it's the third quarter. It feels like you don't need to be yelling this much. Like, what's going on with you? You know, they're like, they told me I need to voice my emotions more. I'm like, I'm not about this.
was.
Not about the turnovers. It's Mitch Trubisky's fault, man. It's not your fault.
You've never felt like you wanted therapy for real?
Yeah, probably. I felt like I did, and then like the next day, I wasn't as sad. I was like, "We're good. Keep it right." Because there's got to be a bunch of fucked up shit in here, and I'm like, like when your car, you're driving it, and you're like, that's not a good sound, and you just kind of turn the radio up a little bit more, and you're like, "We're gonna keep on cruising, brothers. It'll be all right." You know what I mean?
But what eventually happens?
When that car winds up in the junkyard,
it gets louder.
Yeah, and then it breaks down. It costs way more to fix it. It costs way more to fix it once it breaks down.
Yes. See,
so you're not. I mean, I'm aware that like at some point I should do it, but I gotta wait till I make a little more money. I gotta get some cheddar stacked up. Today I got my bank account out of negatives. What's good, girl?
There's places that have like resources and support like that to help have more access to therapy.
Where at?
Find places that have interns a lot of times, like practices that have, because you can get low cost. Like I have an intern who has a rate, but then if someone just couldn't afford it, I'm like, just ask them what they can pay.
Yeah.
So a lot of places have interns like that. So I'll send you some info.
Yeah, that's good. I'm looking into it.
Yeah.
What worries you about like finding out more about yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, like what? I don't even know. It just seems scary. It's like swimming in a deep pool. You're like, but the shallow end that's where my buds are, man. You know what I mean? I don't need to go. The deep end's scary. You could drown in there. I guess.
You can take a dip in the deep end, then come back.
That's true.
Back and forth.
Not if you can't swim.
Get flotation device. I love the metaphors.
Yeah.
Think of a therapist as like she's waiting out there and gave you little floaties.
Oh, okay. All right.
She'll coach you.
She'll help me out. Okay. All right. Well, you know what? I'm gonna do it.
Really?
Probably. Probably. Like I should do it. People kept telling me like, have you thought about therapy? And I'm like, have I thought about it? Yeah, dude. Have I done it? No.
I will just say I've lost a parent a few years ago, and it is, even if you think you're prepared for it, because he had cancer as well, and it went pretty quick, and you're wrapping your head around it as much as you can, but there'll be an aspect of when your mom's not here anymore. And just to have support. A lot of us wait till the wheels are falling off to go to therapy. And we go to the doctors for checkups and for things. And I just feel like our mental health is just equally important as our physical health. It's just invisible a lot of times. You don't see like or feel like you might a physical thing. But yeah, I would just
gotta
take support around you as much as you can.
Yeah.
Not wait till it's harder when you wait.
Yeah.
Because that's where I see a lot of people sometimes, and it's not fun.
Yeah.
But I want to like really commend you for going at it on your own, even though you couldn't access it, to like look up books and watch lectures, because that's harder sometimes to just try to seek that out on your own. That's harder to be motivated for that. Yeah. And I hear like you were probably in some pain to be motivated enough to do that on your own.
Yeah, I was working like I worked this job where I was in landscaping from 7 a.m. until like 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. or whenever we got done with the projects. But like it was like a long day. But I didn't have to do it. Like it was like mindless kind of. So I would just like plug in and listen to like podcasts or lectures, and then I just do that. And then did my other job. That was 4 days a week, and then the other 3 days I worked from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at a golf course.
Damn.
In the pro shop where I didn't do, and it was honestly the best summer of my life. It was sick. It was awesome. I just got to do whatever I wanted all the time.
Oh,
like,
beautiful.
I was like, this is great. And then like throughout that whole summer, I think like I got out, I stopped being depressed, and then I like at the end of the summer, I was like, I need to do comedy, like because I hadn't been doing it, but I like wanted to do it.
You hadn't done it before?
No, but I wanted to. I was like, I want to do comedy. Like I want to try it. So then after that summer, I like started doing comedy.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, because I was like, I think I was tripping on acid, and I was listening to that song from Pink Floyd where they were like, the race has begun. You missed the starting gun. It's like halfway through, and I'm like, damn, dude, that's deep as hell. Trees are crazy. And I was like, all right. And then I was like, I gotta do something. You know what I mean? Because I just dropped out of college when I was like 22 or 21.
Oh, shit.
I was like, I gotta do something. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna start doing comedy.
Had you always wanted to do it?
Yeah, ever since I was a kid. I saw like Dane Cook on TV and like whatever Dane Cook when he was good, like he ripped in like the early 2000s. And then like I saw Sam Kinison when I was like a kid, and then I didn't realize it till like a couple years ago. Like, damn, I yell a lot. Like, like a little bit. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And so like but like my friends were always like, oh, you're funny. I was always ripping it up like at the school and shit. So I was like, oh, I probably should do that. Yeah.
And how was it? Starting
was like the first 2 times I did it. I was in Baltimore taking care of my granddad at the end of his towards the end of his life, and I did it with like a fake ID. So I was actually 20, yeah, because I had a fake ID.
Took care of him with a fake ID, or did comedy with a fake ID?
Did comedy with a fake ID, but took care. I had a fake ID too, so both. And then I bombed super hard like the first 2 times.
Wait, do you have to be a certain age
to get into bars?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, because you have to go. I had to go to like the grimiest, grungiest bars in Baltimore to do it because that was just where it was happening.
Right.
And I remember being like so sketched out, being like, Baltimore is not the nicest city. And then like it was rough. And then I remember like the 2 times I did it, I took like that long break. And then I went through the summer and like did all that stuff, but depression and shit. Then I tried again, I guess.
Why'd you take the break in the first place?
Because I think I was kind of scared. I was also driving from Glen Burnie into Baltimore to do it, which is like a pretty good drive. And I didn't have a car. I had to take like my grandma's car at night when she fell asleep, and she didn't know I had it.
Whoa.
So I was always scared.
That's dedication.
That I was gonna, then I was like, Pop-Pop could wake up at any time of the night and be like, where is this dude? You know what I mean?
No,
so I was always like scared of like, you know what I mean? So it just wasn't a good situation to be doing it in the first place. But also like bombing the first 2 times, I was like, maybe this isn't for me. I suck. And then I started again in after that whole like experience, and then the first time I did it after that, I did really well.
Oh, nice.
Like, I think I just got the jitters out of the way maybe.
After those first 2 times though, you still were like, I still want to do this.
Yeah, I still wanted to do it because I was like, I haven't done good. Like I haven't even given it a shot. I haven't even been on like a real stage. I was like a bar. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It doesn't really count to you like on at least like it counts, but like you know what I mean? Like when you're on like a real stage, you can be like, well, I did try in front of a crowd.
Yes.
I can't
That's
try
there
with
for
7
comedy.
drunk idiots. It's
Yes.
a little different. You know what I mean? Like if you bomb at an open mic with 7 people, you didn't bomb. You know what I mean? You just did an open mic with 7 people that were hammered. Like of course, like, you can't really beat yourself over that. You're never gonna tell any damn jokes. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah.
Gotta keep pushing through.
So you took care of your grandpa when he was on his way out?
Yeah, I mean, so he fell and broke his hip, and I took care of him when he had a broken hip, until he could get better enough to kind of. But he was like in his 90s. He was like 90.
Wow.
90. He died at 94. So he died a couple years after that, or maybe shortly after that. But it wasn't this. Not like I wasn't like end of life taking care of him as much as I was just getting him better.
Okay.
So like then my aunt could come in and take care of him for the rest of the.
How old were you?
20.
Oh.
I just dropped out of college, and my dad was like, you can take care of Pop-Pop, or you can go climb. He was going to set me up with this job where I was like climbing AT&T towers like 400 feet tall. And I was like, well, I don't like heights. So
I'll take care of Pop.
I'm going to wipe Pop-Pop's ass, cuz. What are you going to do? It's a shit show either way, I guess. Either I'm shitting myself or Pop-Pop shitting himself, but somebody's pooping, I'll tell you that right now. So,
Poor Pop.
poor Pop-Pop, yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Pop-Pop was a card.
Oh.
He was so funny.
Y'all were close?
Yeah, I got close with Pop-Pop. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was always pretty
imagine.
close with him. But then like during that time, I just sit and ask him all these questions about like when he was younger, what was World War II like. My Pop-Pop served in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam.
What?
Yeah. He got out of the army in World War II. He was in the Navy in World War II, unenlisted to try to not, and then he was like, "We're fighting Koreans." And he was like, I'm gonna go back. I think he just like the army life just suited him.
Yeah.
And then he got super good at golf in the military. He was like, he's just an ace golfer. And so he just his life was always playing golf. Playing golf. He was doing all weird shit. He's just a big goofball. He'd take his teeth out when he got old. He'd just take his teeth out. And we were like, why are your teeth out? He goes, I like it this way. Yeah, he used to tell me, he goes, you know how you get old? You see that bottle of Crystal Hot Sauce over there? I drank a whole bottle of Crystal Hot Sauce. And I'm like, Pop-Pop, I wipe your ass, bro. I know you're doing that. You gotta stop. You gotta stop drinking Pop-Pop. Stop doing that, dude. Cannot be good for you.
Dude, that's really nice that you took care of someone at. I used to take care of my great grandma and bathe her and
It's hard.
wipe her butt. It's like it was.
It's hard.
It was, I was like, whoa, people get old?
Yeah.
The fuck?
Oh, I'm yeah, that's why I always look at Dick Van Dyke's 98, but he still acts on Broadway and moves around. And I'm like, whatever that dude is doing, whatever movement stuff he's doing, you got to move it or you lose it. So especially when you're over 50 or 60, it's really important to move.
Yeah.
Because I do not want to get to the point where I can't move.
Yeah.
Right?
You know?
Are you active?
Not super active. I mean, I'm a server. I'm a bartender server and I work all the time. So I am active enough in terms of that way. But I used to be I used to be jacked, dog. I used to be in crazy good shape. And then I after COVID, I worked out all through COVID. I just worked out 5-6 days a week. And then once COVID, and that from the time I was 13 till I was 25.
You were working out at 13?
Oh yeah, I was lifting weights at 13. Yeah, because I wanted to play football and I did. So I was like, I got to be strong.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was working out.
That's that hustle from your mom, I feel like.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
When I was 17, I weighed 170 and benched 315. It was quite strong.
Wow.
That's wild.
Yeah, I was very strong. But then once COVID ended, I was we were the world opened back up. I was like, I want to go to the bar. And then I started drinking, hanging out with more people, started doing comedy more. I started just getting so busy that I'm I'm not waking up at 7 in to go work out before I go do my job.
Yeah.
So now it's more I'll go on a run. I run to a bar that's 1.5 miles from my house. I have a beer, then I run back. So it's 3 miles and a beer. We're good. And then I'll do ab workouts before the run and stretch before the run and do pull ups and push ups and stuff and do bicep workouts.
Just because you want to be moving when you're old.
Yeah, I want to be moving when I'm old, and also I just looked at my body and I'm like, damn, dude, you used to be something. Now I'm just looking I had a girl tell me the other day. I went home, just 6 months ago, and this girl, she goes, I love that you have a dad bod now, and I was like, well. All right, that's a wake up call. I got to start working out again, I guess. She was trying to be nice.
Keep your compliments to yourself.
Yeah, exactly, dude. I was like, damn, I'm 27. I was 26 then. I was like, damn, well, what the fuck is that mean? 1 year not working out. I got a bod, brother. Yeah, so all right, that was red
Did you give her
flag.
the spiel? Were you when I was 17?
No,
dude?
well,
she's out.
No. I mean, this girl knew me when I was 17.
Oh, really?
This girl, yeah.
Damn, that hurts even worse.
Yeah. Well, that's why I think she said it because she was trying to be nice about it because I just wasn't clearly not as good as shape. She was like, I like what you have. I like that it's living in a mansion and being like, I like trailers.
Yeah.
They're nice.
I had somebody tell me they liked soft bodies.
Yeah.
When they were with you?
Yes. I was like, that doesn't sound like a
It
compliment.
doesn't sound nice at all. Don't say that, dude. I was working at this lady was like, Rob, you're 35, right? And I was like,
Jesus Christ.
fuck, dude, I'm getting killed out here. I looked at I was like, is my beard gray? Is something going on with me, dude? This is nuts. I was pissed. Also, I guess, I'm kind of in charge at work, so people think I'm older.
Okay, so yeah. Hell yeah.
I'm kind of the big dog.
Ooh,
I kind of put shit in place, you know?
You're the big dog in the serving job you have?
I mean,
don't backtrack now.
Don't
fucking back up now.
I'm not the manager, but I'm the person who everybody asks before they ask the manager. They're like, hey, Rob, how do you do this? And I'm like, man, I don't fucking know, dude. Just bring them the meatloaf. It's going to be fine. Who gives a fuck?
You're like, wow, so confident.
I don't get why you're thinking about it that much. Just go back there and grab the green beans. Don't charge them. Who cares? We got 6 locations. We can give this 94-year-old more green beans. I'm not going to fucking care.
Do you work at Cracker Barrel?
No.
Do you bartend at Cracker
Dude,
Barrel?
I work at a sports bar, but during the daytime, because that's when I work during the day, so I do comedy at night.
Right.
We just have a lot of older crowd that sits in the dining room area. So they'll be just not super old, but late 60s. So they're always I need the senior menu. And
right.
we're like, fucking goddamn it, dude. So
you get tipped big on this one.
Oh, dude. Well, I had a lady. She was 1632, and gave me a 20. I gave her 4 back, and she was like, you don't have. It should be this much back. And I'm like, you just keep 30 cents. It'll be fine. And then she was like, you don't have, I got change for you. And she gave me all this change thinking she was being nice to be now you can give people exact change. And I'm like, I don't want to give people exact change.
It's just not the depression.
You don't need the pennies. Let the pennies go. They're not worth anything anymore. $1 ain't worth anything anymore. What are we doing?
I know.
Keep the pennies. We're fine.
$100 is the new dollar for an adult.
Dude, $100 is I left my house today. I'm like, well, I did step outside, so I spent $100.
It's true.
Yeah, it's just a charge.
For a living.
Yes.
I did a challenge where I tried not to spend any money for a day, and I failed.
Damn.
I was at home and then I tried to do it kind of randomly. I didn't realize I didn't have like food at the house. I was like,
You just chose a day.
yeah, just a poor day. And then I just needed to not spend money that day. I framed it like it's a fun challenge. I was like, I really shouldn't spend money today. And so yeah, when I bought cookout, $7 at a cookout, I got. And then once I bought $7 a cookout, I'm like, well, that's got
One hour. Yeah. Now I've spent it already.
No, I already done did it.
Yeah.
Bought a man. I bought like a man. I had like, it was the saddest meal. I had like a thing from Cookout, whatever you like, $7 meal. And then I bought like a man can, like a 25-ounce can of like cheap beer. And it was just at my apartment, just like, this is okay. This is fine. This meal cost me
opposite of the challenge.
Yeah, opposite of the challenge, yeah. But it was sick. I watched Gladiator, pretty cool movie. So.
Hell yeah. I have a question about like growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Was everyone in your family like the way they dealt with things is humor? Or was that more, did you do that?
I think everybody in my family is like kind of funny, can be funny, but I would say like being the youngest and everything and kind of like wanting the attention and stuff definitely made me be more like, I'm going to go be funny. Like be a little more like center of attention type of thing. But yeah, I would say we all dealt with things through humor for sure. Yeah. Like everybody's pretty funny in my family, I'd say.
But you're the funniest.
I am the funniest. That is for sure true.
Did they, has your mom seen you do comedy?
Yeah. So she saw me do comedy at a theater back home in like my hometown. So she went to that show and she saw me there. And then it was so funny. I go back home and do that show like every year where I'm just like, oh, I can go home. This will pay for it. It'll be fine. Like this pays for the trip. And she saw it one year and then the next year she couldn't go see it because she had to go to like a trade show to buy for her store. But I was doing a show at this bar that was like the day before in like a town 40 minutes away. But it's like the big town versus our town's like the small town. Okay. So she came to town and like saw me at this bar where like it was like one of the worst shows I've been on. I was like, this show, all the other comedians are bad, and I knew that. And I was going last, and I was like, Mom, like, you really don't have to come. And like her and my dad and my sister and my brother-in-law came, and they're like dressed nice, and I'm like,
oh no,
so there's not even a stage. You know what I mean? When my mom asked me to do comedy, everything she said after she's ever seen me, she just goes, very charismatic. But she's always been like, I wish you wouldn't say those things. But she's always like, you're very charismatic. You're a very good performer. I wish you wouldn't say those things. And I'm like, I can't help what's going on in here. You know what I mean? This is what I'm thinking of and then if it's funny too, the worst, like, if it's funny, I'm like, well, I have to say it. Yes. I need to say it. I'm panning for gold. I need all the fucking gold I can get.
I call that comedy gods sometimes where I'm just like, existing and they're like, say this and I'm like, I don't know if I should, and they're like, say it. Do
it. Especially when you're on stage and you're saying something on stage that you like haven't said before, which I feel like that's some like that happens where I'm like, I don't say it, and then it just like I'll write a joke and then I'm like reading, I'm like, that's fucking dumb. Right. And then, like I go on stage and say it a whole different way than I wrote it, but I'm like, oh, but that worked though. Yes. The way I said it there worked. I'm like, the way I wrote it down is stupid, but like the way the idea is there, I just need to be on stage to say it. Exactly. It's like when the lights are on, you perform better than like, Yeah. I think, that's a different style that some people thrive in writing before and some people, on stage. But yeah. Yeah. If I try to write it out too much before on stage too, it almost feels too rehearsed. Yes. Too, so I have to like bullet points or like, or just write it out. And then I'll write a joke out and then I'll look at the notebook and then I'll say it in my head in my room the way I would say it if I was on stage. Oh, nice. I wouldn't say, like, when I'm writing a hand to pen, I'm writing like I would a sentence. You know what I mean? Like, that's not how I talk. Yes. Yes. You joke like this. Ah! Gotta have a whole body in the joke, dude. You gotta just have some in my face. And I gotta get the whole face in there, dude. Gotta put the whole thing in the whole microphone in my mouth right after that. When you're on stage, it just feels like you're surviving. You're just like, I'm just here to survive. I don't do anything. Put me in the game, coach. You just gotta get in there, dog, So true. Yeah, it's like you can't half-ass it, man. So true. So she has seen you do comedy, but she hasn't. Are you saying she hasn't been like, you're funny? Yeah, I mean, I think she knows that I am funny. She just doesn't approve of the things I'm saying. Like she admits, she's like, that obviously was funny. You made all these people laugh. Yeah. I just wish you were a preacher. Like she's like they just all like I think they think that one day I'm just gonna like stop doing comedy and start a church. And I'm like, are they religious? Yeah. Oh, really? The big dogs love Jesus. J-Man. Shut up the dog. Yeah. I'm not, but like they certainly. Oh wow. My whole family is. But my sister's on these weird journeys where they're like super spiritual about stuff. They're like, I'm a Buddhist, I'm into shamanism or whatever. And then they're like, I'm a Christian and I love Jesus. Like, you know, they just go through like each year they just get, and then once they find you, they're more like, and then every time they were doing like shamanism, whatever they were doing, they're always like, this is the way. And then like they found Jesus and then they're like, this is the way. And I'm like, and I've never been super spiritual or super religious. I've always just been like, I don't know, whatever what I gotta go to work Wednesday regardless of who I believe in. So like I better get there, you know, like I've other things I think about.
Did they make you go to church when you were growing up?
My parents were super cool about like we did go to church for sure, but they never once I turned like 13 or 14, they were like, do what you want.
Oh. Fuck yeah.
Like, we gave you a foundation, like you know enough about the Bible that like if you wanna like you can have a conversation about it if I wanted to. Like I do know enough about it. And they were like I like am comfortable in a church, but I'm not like they were never like you need to go to church. They're like it's Sunday, football's really cool. On, like you want to sleep and you're fine. Because they go to like the 8 a.m. service, and I'm not going to that. I'm not doing that.
What denomination are they?
I think they're like non-denominational. They're like into like they're just into like wherever has the good. Like we went to Baptist church, went to Presbyterian church, went to Methodist church. Like they were just like wherever has like the vibe that like this feels like a place for us.
Oh, fuck
we tried Catholicism for a little bit, and they were like, "This is not it."
No,
we did like one round, and we were like, "Nah." one session, one service, whatever it was, and they're like, "This is a little fucking out there for us." Too much, you know.
The standing and the kneeling and the standing and the kneeling.
Oh,
it's too much.
It's not like that Always Sunny, but it's like Danny kneeling. Which is it?
I didn't watch that show.
I've only seen like clips of it, but
really?
It seems like a show I'd love, but then I'm like, this seems like it's 20 seasons. You get intimidated.
Yeah, that's a lot to commit to.
Too much, but it seems funny. Like it's like I remember people. I've been in the room when people have watched it, and I've sat down and watched it and been like, "This is funny."
Yeah,
but I'm like, I don't.
You're not gonna start from the beginning.
20 seasons? You kidding me?
What is the show?
Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And the acting's great. I mean, it seems like a great show.
So you used to do football, but you don't do sports anymore.
No, I golf and I play basketball. Like pick up basketball with my buddies.
Okay, but you wanted to be like a professional football player?
I mean, I think every kid did. Like, yes, but I played in high school and I was like super undersized. Like I could never get big enough to be like really good. But I did start. I did play, but I never got in. There was no. I knew by the time I was either a sophomore, like when I was like a sophomore in high school, I knew I'd never play in college. Oh, so I was like, I'll just get really like strong and good and like help my team win, but I'm never gonna like go to the next level.
Okay.
And I knew I didn't want to play like a D2 school. I knew I wanted to go to like a state school. Like I wanted to go to like University of Idaho or like Boise State. I wanted to like go to a big school. Okay. More than I wanted to play football for a small school.
Yeah. Got you.
I was like, I'd rather have like the cool school experience. And I did for all 3 semesters.
What made you drop out?
I was actually, I cheated in algebra so much and in high school so much in math that when I got to college, I could not do math. And they had this lab I'd have to go to teach me how to do math, and they were like, "Do you not know like any?" I'm like, "When did the letters get here?" Letter? I thought it was numbers class. Like, what the fuck is the letters getting this thing? Like,
Are you serious?
I really couldn't do math. I legitimately couldn't do math. Like legitimately, I couldn't do it, and then I got mad, and then I like just was like, "That's fucking stupid." And then I was like, "Well, if I make A's and all my other, which I did, I made really good grades in all my other classes." I just figured like, the math take care of itself, and then it didn't, and I kept failing math, and then I was like, and then I got depressed, pretty depressed in college, and then I also
because of that.
I think the whole thing, like I was in a frat, and I was like, never felt more alone being surrounded by so many people. Where I was like, there's so many people, and this sucks. Like we're doing the same thing all the time. We're never doing anything new. We're always just like every party's the exact same party.
There's no connection.
Yeah, there's nothing real. You know what I mean? It's not fun. And then like I also like was going to school for journalism, and I looked up what journalists made, and I was like, "Oh, wait on a second here.
I'm doing math for that."
Yeah, I got to do algebra 108 for this. Are you kidding me? So I was like, "Hell no, man, that's not enough money." And then I also looked at like how much money debt I would have and everything. I'm like, well, if I just drop out now, like I'll have less debt to pay off, and then I can like, and then I'm 20. All my friends who like got my degree are like, they don't use it. They're like,
of course,
they all do other things. A lot of them are bartenders. So I'm like, we're doing the same job. I just have less money in debt than you.
So you did 3 years and then dropped out.
3 semesters.
3 semesters. Oh,
yeah. Real quick. If I do doing 3 years and then being like, fuck it, like that's crazy. That's like, dude, you gotta finish. Yeah. I was right at that point where I needed to make a decision on whether I wanted to stay or not. Yeah. And I knew halfway into the 3rd semester I was going to drop out. I was like, this sucks. I don't want to do this anymore.
Wow.
Yeah. College just isn't the right path for some people. I don't think it says anything about.
I think if I'd have gone to like
intelligence or
community
anything.
college and like gotten my AA degree done, and then would have gone to state like the 4-year school, like after the first 2 years in community college, I would have gotten my degree. But I think just being thrown right into it was maybe I was just too mature. I couldn't manage my time like well enough. Like I did make good grades in all the other classes, but they were like easy.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I could write a paper. Like I'm good at
Math
writing.
is extremely hard for me too.
Yeah.
And I went to I would take a class at a community college and be enrolled at the university, and then you could transfer.
Oh, the transfer.
We'd go take the hard classes at the community college
Oh, fun.
in town and transfer them in.
That's smart.
Because it's like reading a different language to me. Math, I'm like, it just does not. But you have to take those core
Yeah,
classes.
they make you take math, and I'm like, I'm never gonna use math trying to write for Sports Illustrated. You know,
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
never gonna. I mean, listen, put math in football, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like I can figure out the 40-yard. I'm great in situational awareness, brother. Like
That's what
I can
I would-
manage a clock. You know,
Right. I'm like, I can play a math genius if you
Yeah.
want me to do that on stage.
you're an apprentice to be a good at math. Hell yeah, just write the script, brother.
Right. I met my math teacher's wife and kids because I was in his office so much in college.
Oh damn.
Yeah. I struggled through it
Yeah.
though. Is it
That's
cool?
all right. Well, it's cool you met his wife and kids. They seem chill.
They're like, give us our daddy back.
You're like, we need him. You're like, read him more.
What made you move to the South?
I was doing comedy in Spokane, and I was like driving to like Seattle and Portland and Bozeman, Montana, like big long drives like all the time
Yeah.
because you're just such an isolated area. And there was enough in Spokane, like big enough metro center, you can do stuff there, but like if you really want to like do it, you got to go to where it is. And so I was like, well, I don't want to live in Seattle. I don't want to live in. And so then I like X'd that out. And then I just process of elimination of like, well, I narrowed it down to like Chicago or Nashville.
Nice.
Because I was like, Austin's too sad. Like by the time I was going to move, I'm like, everybody's fucking moved to Austin. I don't really want to live down there. It's so fucking hot. And just the amount of like good stage time I could get, I was like, it seems limited. New York's way too expensive. LA's too expensive. So I was like Chicago or Nashville. And then, I just chose Nashville because I was like, it's so central. Like, I could travel really easily out of here. Like, all the road stuff made sense where I was like, well, you know, just all the markets around here. I'm like, I can access so much around here without leaving a 3 or 4 hour radius. That I was
Yes.
like, this makes the most sense to me.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
And you like it here?
I love Nashville. I love it. It's like everybody I met that here is awesome. I like that there's always something to do. There's always music to go listen. Like
Yes.
I was like go into a place and I'm like, this band's the best band I've ever heard. Like, and I'm not picky, so it's pretty easy to impress me. Like, you know what I mean? And also like very dude in his 20s who's single. I'm like everywhere I go, every woman I meet is the most beautiful woman I've ever met.
Oh,
Like, everybody's so attractive.
that's so sweet.
It's crazy. I'm like, hey, what is going on? What's in the water? Like, what the fuck? Every girl's a supermodel. I mean, this is crazy. Like, yeah.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah. So it's nice. I mean, yeah, it's cool.
I wanted to ask if you had any like recommendations when you were reading the books and the podcast. If any were your favorites of like the self-help stuff.
All right. This is unfortunate that it's my favorite one because it's also not. This guy sucks.
You're gonna say Joe Rogan?
No, not Joe Rogan. It's worse, honestly. It sucks, dude. This sucks. But the Maps of Meaning lecture that Jordan Peterson did in like 2014, just that specific one, I just listened to that. It's the only thing I've listened to him do.
I don't know that.
That did help me a lot.
What was it called?
Maps of Meaning. It was like a 12-part lecture series where he was just like, yeah, you got to do little shit to get big shit done. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. It was just bite-sized. It was just like, hey, go do this thing, and here's why this is actually important to do. This small thing that doesn't seem important, but you need to do it because it's important. And then here's why it's important. So it was like that guy does suck and I don't like him, but that specific series of lectures did help me.
Yeah, like little
Like,
steps.
Yeah. Like I think he's like falling off the rocker now. He's like a crazy person, which is unfortunate.
I've never heard of him.
Well, don't look him up. Don't do that. He sucks. He does suck. But that specific thing did help me. I think also, unfortunately, being just a fucking, I was like a 20-year-old dude too. Like I needed to hear a dude tell me something kind of, and having 4 sisters and everything, like a very female dominated life of things. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't want to hear another
Woman
telling
you
me what to do. Again. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't do it. Like like part of the things that he said in his lecture was like, make your bed, which I'm like, if a woman, I'm gonna be like, shut up, mom. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, but that
That's
one did
awesome.
help me probably like the most, honestly. But,
I love that. I will. I'll listen to it. I mean, everybody's got.
Weird.
I just won't look up him.
Yeah.
What did he do?
He's just like he's just like a right wing guy who's just like
Oh.
yeah. He's just like super fucking like yeah exactly yeah. He's just super. He's like women are women, and I'm like you sure man? I don't fucking know. I don't even know why are you so mad about it? Like, fucking chill out, dude. So mad. My favorite woman is a woman with a penis. They always come.
Help. Melanie, do you have any other questions?
No, I was wanting to ask like what you read or looked at that helped you through that.
Yeah, I mean, that specific lecture series is good. And then I read like some essays that I found that someone sent me. I don't remember who wrote these essays, but they were good. They're full of like little. I read some Confucius too, that old Chinese guy, and he was spitting some game. Honestly, that dude
Got
had
it
facts.
all over him, just
Yeah,
everything.
just a little bit of sprinkling everything. Yeah, he had like some cool
love
saying, just like stuff where I was just honestly. Sometimes I would read Confucius and I'd be like, I'm butchering. There's no way I'm saying that name right, but like he would say it's stuff that like your old Southern grandpa would say, but like through a lens of like a Chinese guy who lived like 3,000 years ago.
Fuck yeah.
He was like, you gotta deal with your problems. I'm like, damn, that's so true, Papa. Like, so yeah, a lot of that, and Marcus Aurelius too. Like that's what the essays that he wrote. The Stoicism was helpful.
Okay.
To just be like, shit just happens and it happens, and you just gotta figure out a way through it. And
So you
life
like
just
some
goes on.
existential thinking.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I like that.
Do you still like lately? Have you been reading or watching any of that stuff?
About a week ago, I decided that I needed to get the Maryland Terrapins to the championship, and when college football came out, and I was like, I can't read anymore.
I thought that was like a going to the toilet reference.
No.
Get to the Maryland.
The Maryland, they had to go. They needed a bowl game, and I was like, I got to start playing football.
When you say sports, it's math to me.
Oh right, this doesn't make any sense. No, I started playing a bunch of video games in like the past. Like I bought a PS5. Like when I won that competition, I got like money, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna buy a PS5. I've been putting it off for. I like wanted one for so long, but I've never figured out how to do it. And then I won that money. I'm like, I'm gonna get a PS5 and get some video games.
He won funniest in Nashville at Third Coast.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I needed the money. And
I
so
remember when that
used
was
it.
going on. Yeah.
It was fun.
Very
Yeah, it was a
cool.
fun competition. And so yeah, I like took that money and bought like a PS5 and made my room nice too. My room has like decorations and feels
my
like a room
goodness.
now and everything.
That's mental health right there.
That
Yes.
helped a bunch. I have some fake plants that I'm like, I wish you were real, but that's too much work. So I got some fake plants. Ordered
Some
them on
shaped
Amazon,
plastic.
dude. Yeah, a little shaped plastic make me feel real. You know. Yeah, did that. I got like a 42-inch TV, but I have like it's just like this tiny little TV in my room. But then I have like a $700 video game machine. Where I'm like, this is crazy. What am I doing?
Do you love it though?
It's sick, yeah. It just takes my mind off stuff. Like I have this game where I'm like a Japanese samurai, and I'm just like trying to free this little island from all these Mongols. It's called Ghost of Tsushima. You should look it up. It's sick. Yeah, like the rules. I've just been like slaying dudes. I'm like, this is good. This is good. Like getting out of my head and be like, this is what I have to focus on.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I think you just answered the question we always ask people at the end, but maybe there's. Oh, you have something?
I had a new one I thought of.
Oh, please.
Because we've been thinking about doing this, and I was like, well, he answered it, so I'll ask this.
Beautiful.
What is the best advice you've ever received?
It's never as bad as you think it is, and it's never as good as you think it is.
Okay. And what is the worst advice you've ever received?
Dude, go talk to her. The worst she can say is no. She can say so many worse things. Don't do it. You better come in with some heat. Have a good line.
I'm going to cry.
You can't go in there and just be like, I'm Rob. Who are you? Like, that's not going to work, brother.
She'd be like, I love your dad bod now.
Come here. Just grab my boobs.
You know what? When you laugh, you kind of look like Robin Williams.
Oh, that's the nicest compliment I can get. That. Thank you.
Yeah, that was really
made my
nice to
day.
see.
I can
Thank
see
you.
that.
Oh,
Now that you say it, yeah.
That's man.
Oh,
That really. Oh, gee shucks. That really does make me feel good. Thank you so much.
of course. You're so funny. And
Oh, thank you. You are too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I love seeing you in your room. Like, when I see you on the lineup, I'm like, fuck yeah. I'm happy that you're there.
I like seeing. I remember whenever we're on a show together, I always like, oh, it's gonna be sick.
Right?
This will be sick.
It's so funny when they put us together back to back a lot,
do.
and we're both high energy.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
audience, they love it.
I think they love it, but it is also sometimes getting punched in the face. You're like, what happened? I like whenever I follow. I love Marcus Lustig, but when I'll follow him, I'm like, all right, this is gonna be a huge room reset.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Or Jimmy.
Or Jimmy, yeah. I like following Jimmy because I like how stark the difference is. Like, that is such an insane difference.
Jimmy's like,
yeah, Jimmy's like, just yelling. I'm like yelling and shit, and Jimmy's like, is he talking yet?
have you ever been on a lineup and like seen it being like this, and you're like, I'm about to go murder this room.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because the energy is just like this. And you're like,
Yeah.
all I have to do is have a little bit of energy.
Yeah, and they're gonna be,
like,
this is the most
"Whoa."
unique thing I've ever seen. This is crazy. I'm like, not too crazy. I just yell. You know?
Well, you're wonderful.
Yes.
And thank you for doing the
being-
podcast.
Yeah,
Thank you
thanks
so
for
much.
being here.
Thank
I've
you.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was really nice to meet you. Thank you.
Oh,
You too.
Yeah.
For the 100th time, hit this
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
I love a handshake.
I'm a handshake guy.
Yeah, I know you have a good handshake. We
you.
shook hands when he first got here. I was like, good handshake.
Yeah, I hate a limp dick handshake. It pisses me
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Can't stand it.
I hate that.
Oh, ooh,
They
they cut
catch
you
you
off.
at the-
Can't
yeah.
get deep enough in there.
Yep.
I do hate
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
my dad
Makes me feel like a
taught
less
me
of a
like
man.
to really get
Yeah,
in
yeah,
there.
that's a good one too. You got a firm one on you.
I know.
Yeah, yeah. So I normally, I shake hands with men when I see them, and I've always like, well, I'm not gonna just hug this gal, like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to get, like, I'd rather shake your hand
Yeah.
because I want to give you the respect that I'm gonna give a man.
I love
Yeah,
it.
no, that's true. It was weird. I don't like when I was in college, I'd always be hugging, and I'm like, yeah, let's chill out.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, they didn't. They thought it was weird. They thought I was autistic. I know. For like the first 2 weeks I was in college, I did that, and my buddy was like, hey, don't do that.
You got to stop respecting women. It's weird.
It was, but the women, they didn't want it. They didn't want the respect. I don't know. They were like, why is he always shaking my hand? Is he afraid to hug me? I'm like, not really.
Is that like, did that come from being around women?
Yeah, there's like a lot of like respect, like you respect women, which is like you should respect women. I'm not, but like you do have to. You should maybe give them a hug sometimes. I don't fucking know.
You,
Give them a hug. I don't know, man.
but do it slowly.
Yeah.
And you know,
And make a lot of eye contact. I want to hug
let them
you.
know you're coming.
Yeah. Pardon me, madame. Here comes
wanna
the
wrap
hug
around
monster. Can we move arms real quick? Do the touchstones on your back?
Pop up.
Yeah, shout out Pop Up, Rip the Goat, dude.
You're wonderful, Rob.
Yes, this is a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening to I'm Fine, It's Fine podcast. My name is Amber Autry. I'm a comedian based here in Nashville and internationally touring. You can find me on all platforms at Amber Autry Comedy.
And I am Melanie Reese. I'm a trauma therapist here in Nashville. You can find me across all platforms at Trauma Therapy Nashville.
We really appreciate you listening so much. And if you want to give a little extra for free, make sure you're liking, subscribing, rating, reviewing, sharing with your friends, talking about it to literally everyone you see, because it helps so much, and we're so grateful for the extra effort.
And if you like what you're hearing and you want some bonus material, that includes interviews with other practitioners and all the juicy stuff that Amber and I talk about that doesn't go into the normal podcast. We'd love to have you subscribe. You can find the link in our bio, and $5 a month, you can do it.